Good morning. Welcome to the Lisa Eve Show. I am Lisa Eve. Let's see what we need to do here to get this set up. Oh, okay, I think we did it. So one of the things that I figured out is that my hair is like, okay, so like I have natural hair, which means, it's not like permed or I didn't think about this being our topic for today, but I have natural hair, so I don't have hair that is like permed or like styled in any type of way right now. And so as I transition my hair, you guys are going to see it every morning. And there are some hairstyles that are going to require multiple days. And so I'm going to have to figure out how to manage my hair for those multiple day hairstyles. For example, I have one right now. For those of you who can't see because you're either listening on Spotify or some other platform, actually I'm currently live on YouTube right now. And you can watch me live every morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Except for Sunday. Sunday is a pre-recorded show. So I do apologize that you can't see what I'm talking about, but don't worry, we'll move past it quickly. So I just twisted up my hair, and you guys can't really see that well because I have my tripod stand kind of like perfectly back there, but so like this is a transition hairstyle, which I will eventually take out, and then it'll just make these cute little curls. So you guys are gonna be you guys are gonna just be a part of even my hair journey because I'm gonna be doing things like transition hairstyles and so yeah. Basically, you don't know what to expect from my hair, basically. Hi everybody. I'm 1,000% honest with you guys. Like I'm super tired. I'm very tired right now. I stayed up late because I was working on my hair. And no, this is not the kind of hairstyle that takes hours and hours on end. However, I did have a lot of things to do yesterday. So after I eventually got home, that's when I started to work on my hair because, well, this is my weekend off. And so I have to use up all of those free spaces to get things done. Okay, so basically what I actually want to talk about is yesterday we discussed how God wants me to rest and basically trust in him and let God do handle everything. And the reason being because I need to be able to rest in my feminine, not only to fulfill whatever God has for me in this life, but also because my husband, I have to be able to let my husband do for me and provide for me and essentially take care of me, as opposed to what I've done my whole life, which is have this attitude of I can do it all by myself, I'm going to take care of myself, and that phase is over in my life, and I need to catch up with the rest of basically what I'm being called into. There are plenty of aspects of me that are already there. It's just that this particular aspect of me has not moved into that yet. So yesterday was a big practice for this, resting and letting God handle things, and it was very beautiful. Basically, I had many experiences where things that I was saying just the day before were being immediately reflected back to me, but from the outside of me. You remember how we were talking about the other day, how we were talking about, I don't know if I'm the only one who sees a woman who's like dressed well or is very beautiful, and like I will go up to her and say, oh my God, like you're just so beautiful, like, or your outfit, like, because I want them to know that someone holds that perspective about them. And generally, I mean, I've never had the opposite, but oftentimes, she'll smile and just be like, oh my God, thank you. You made my day or whatever. So I'm 1000% the person who will go and say that. And I actually did this to a guy yesterday. Not about him, but like we had that conversation the day before. And yesterday, 3 or 4 women came up to me with that exact same energy, like, oh my God, you look so beautiful from head to toe. I mean, and they were just like, this one woman even said, like, you are so gorgeous. Like, you know what? Just everything. Your hair, your earrings, your choker, your necklace, your shoes. She's like, you know what? You win for the day. You win for the day. And I'm just like, thank you. And like, receiving that comment, that was the first woman who said this to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was like a complete reflection back about that conversation that I just had. And then it kept happening throughout the day. And even as I was about to make my way home, finish with my errands, some woman stopped me to just tell me how beautiful I looked. And then she gave like the from your head down to your toes, like thing. And she's like, I just had to say that. And I was just like, oh, thank you so much. And then just kind of like, okay. Because like, I'm not, like, I'm not used to this experience of like having things immediately come back to me, like immediately be reflected, like immediately in my reality. And I didn't say that to you guys from the perspective of imagining someone saying it back to me. And I did say that, I mean, maybe I didn't say it, but it doesn't happen to me that often. I don't remember if I said that to you guys, but yesterday it was like 3 or 4 times. And I did tell this woman that I thought she was beautiful. Because like I just have any opportunity to express my thoughts that are positive towards someone else, I just really compel myself to do that. And so I told this woman, I said, every time I see you, I just think you're so beautiful. And she's like, no, you're beautiful. So she doesn't count because I started that conversation, but I let her know. And then I saw this guy, and he had this just super, super cool truck. Very cool truck. So I said to him, like I thought he might like to hear that his truck is just like the coolest truck I've ever seen. So I said, excuse me, sir. And he's kind of taken aback, like, a little bit like, And I'm like, you have the coolest truck I've ever seen. And like the way he smiles and just like, I mean, he like goes into like this boy energy, like this excited like boy energy. And he's just like, he's like, yeah, I kind of like it. And then he like leaves. And I was just hoping that he had a bit more pep in his step as he was going about his day. And the next time he got on his truck, I was hoping that, his, when he just sits in there, he's just like, that's what I was hoping. Of course, I don't know what he's gonna feel or think or anything. That's just my hope for, his experience. So I just want you guys to know that it feels like manifestations are happening for me almost immediately. And there was something that I was thinking of yesterday. And about 15 minutes after I thought it, I had the experience of doing it. One moment. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean that to sneeze. I don't know if there's like a mute button on this program that I'm using, and it would be so phenomenal if there's like a way to mute myself. What's this button do? Testing, 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 testing. Okay, so I just pressed the mute button. I don't know if it worked, but I'm gonna go back to this point in the stream and have a listen to see if that was actually the button that makes this mute. But it could just mute my sound, which I don't have any sound coming out of there right now. So there, in my perspective, there has to be a way to mute my microphone. Oh, there's my mic. I figured it out. There's this little mic mute button. Okay, so yeah, then it was immediately reflected back, and there were, I told you guys that I was changing my name, and this might sound stupid to you guys, but I assure you it was completely caught me off guard. I've been working towards changing my name for a while. Pardon that yawn, guys. As I told you, I'm very tired. I got very little sleep. Well, not very, yes I did. Very little sleep, absolutely, very little sleep. Oh man, I got far less sleep than I imagined that I did when I do the math on it. Okay, but I've been practicing writing my name, and my new name, because I was practicing writing it, potentially out of like nervousness, and then I was like, oh, how do I want to write it? How do I want to write my L? So I started practicing my L's in cursive, and excuse me guys, I do apologize. And I found one I liked. It says practicing my name. And I thought I was writing it. At some point, I'm gonna get to write my name, because basically all of my documents still say my old name. And so I haven't had that opportunity to sign my name. Like I've had the opportunity to, I received one piece of mail in my new name so far, by the way. But I haven't had the opportunity to sign my name in a legal manner. And so, writing one of my errands yesterday, I was asked to sign that name specifically. And I was just like, as I grabbed the pen, I thought of the L I wanted to make. I was like, okay, so how do I want to make this L? And I realized I'm writing my, I'm writing my new name. And I was just, I had been, I think, about 2 days, no, the day before, the day before, I was practicing writing my name. And I was like, I didn't know I was going to be running this particular errand. So this was completely like out of the blue, out of the blue, out of the blue. And suddenly, out of the blue, and suddenly, out of the blue, and suddenly. Sorry, this is the way the Lord is working now. The way that God is working now is out of the blue and suddenly. I just, woo, got goosebumps. Okay, but hang on a sec. And I realized I had just said the day before that I was going to be writing my name in like this legal capacity soon. I just realized it would be the next day. God is working out of the blue, and suddenly, now. had this day where I felt like I could relax, like I was being taken care of, where I could rest. Even though I was out and about on my errands, I felt super supported by God and by my environment. And every encounter that I had was just so pleasant and wonderful, and I've been asking God, because I realized that something that's missing from my feminine journey is pleasure. And so I'm asking God now, like, how can I incorporate pleasure into my experience, into my daily life even? Because pleasure is something that has absolutely not been a part of my journey. Um, it's more like this kind of like one. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm having some difficulties with the way this shirt looks on the camera. Like, it keeps being like super lopsided, and I can't figure out how to make it look normal. um, I've had like these rare moments of pleasure, but as a whole, it's been kind of struggle and pain, and you know what? Even the pleasure, I would say, was skewed, perhaps even tainted. So what I'm asking God for is like a pure form of pleasure. Pure. What am I saying? No strings attached type of pleasure. Pleasure for the sake of pleasure. God, what am I trying to say? I'm asking God to show me the sweetness of life, because I've seen the other sides of that. You know, well versed in the sadness of life, the pain of life, the bitterness of life. And so one of the aspects of asking God to show me the sweetness of life is pleasure, and in being in my divine and being in my feminine, resting in my feminine, being in my divine feminine. Pleasure is like this anchor for being present. And pleasure is something that never sounded important to me, never, like, it wasn't even on my radar to as a thing. And so I'm just kind of learning through time that if I want to be resting in my feminine, I'm gonna be it's gonna be a contribution to this journey to start allowing pleasure into my life, which gives me presence. Because one, if not the most important dynamic of being in your feminine, is being in the now moment. And pleasure invites you into the moment of now. And if you think about it, pain invites you into the past. Yeah. Even if it's a physical pain, you might be in this constant state of remembering how this pain occurred, whether it was like a cut or, even something like heartbreak. Pain invites you simultaneously, I would say, actually, into the present moment and the past. Whoa, hey, whoa. But depending on the pain, it could be just an invitation to the past. Physical pain like a cut, could be an invitation to the now and the past. Mental and emotional pain could be that one-way street to the past. And so what I'm asking God for is to assist me in this complete anchoring, which I believe has actually already happened. I believe I have already anchored. But this steadfastness of God, I guess I'm asking for steadfastness in my feminine and being anchored in that feminine, steadfast. And pleasure is like one of these just like tools that I now am aware of, and I'm asking God to show me. And yesterday was just like, just this, I found different types of pleasure throughout my journey yesterday, whether it's resting in a taxi and just like when I was in this taxi yesterday, I just like, I had my head back and the window was open, and the way that the breeze was like coming through and hitting my face, and it was like a perfect temperature day, and the wind was not cold or hot. It just felt so good, and the driver that I was with felt so safe, and just like his energy was just this such this inviting kind of like safe energy. And I I somehow yesterday was just able to find pleasure in all of these places that I would have never expected to find them, places that I would not have otherwise looked. And it just felt like just such a day of flow and ease and rest and beauty and love. And I I continued to say thank you to God for each of those moments, and give me more. Thank you, God, and give me more. It feels like God is telling me that in order to step into this next phase, well, I'm already in the next phase, but in order to step into this next, gosh, how would I even describe that? In order to like step into that next space, I'm going to need to have exercised my receiving muscles, particularly with pleasure, because I don't want to get short-circuited. I'm going to need to have some experience with receiving pleasure, and with receiving and resting and being taken care of and being provided for. I'm going to need to have some sort of experience with it. I'm going to have to have at least tasted it, experienced it, explored it. So that way I'm not overwhelmed with this next space that God is guiding me into. I do apologize for the yawning, guys. And I'm also asking God to show me the magic. Show me my magic. Show me the magic of me. Show me the magic of this reality. Show me the magic of life. Because from my perspective, like, this life has been just a horror show. And very few moments that feel enjoyable. And so I'm asking God to like flip that. But it almost feels redundant to ask God to bring me that experience, because these are the promises that God already made to me. And this is just the beauty of aligning with God, is that what you want is already what God has for you. it almost feels like you shouldn't even ask, or you don't need to. Not that you shouldn't, but you don't need to ask, because when you align with God, it's already done. It's literally already done. It is already done when you align with God. So I was invited to step into, no, to receive pleasure in ways that I hadn't thought about, or just I wasn't expecting. And so it was just such a chill and relaxed day. And then I would say towards the end of the day, like when I was like literally on my way to bed, like, when I was starting to work on my hair, I started feeling this heavy energy kind of starting to creep in. And I don't recall whether the energy was like around doubt or what, but I started to feel something that didn't feel like me. Oh my gosh, it didn't feel like me. It just kind of like moved in like a black cloud. And then when I woke up this morning, because I was like operating on such little sleep, I kind of just also felt like this cloud, and it was like heaviness, and I suddenly started feeling these feelings of doubt and like just doubt and unsureness around God and the promises that God made to me. And I'm like, God, this is not me. And while I'm aware that it's not me, I do still feel this energy, God. Like, can you, like, is this okay? Like, am I like backsliding? Like, what's going on? God is saying to me that He's letting me be aware and feel these energies so that way I'm aware of what's me and what's not me. So that way going forward, I will be able to identify what's me, what's not me, what belongs to me, and what doesn't belong to me. God is helping me to understand and feel and perceive essentially my essence, like my truth. And my essence and my truth is one with God. So simultaneously feeling God. Like when I'm feeling myself, I'm feeling God. Ooh. I might actually go to sleep after the stream. Like, there's usually things that I do after my oh my gosh, I threw my phone on the floor. There are things that I do after my stream. Writing my book, working on my book, social media stuff. But today, I might just go back to bed because this is kind of, you know, an unusual level of tiredness. So I do apologize to you guys for this. I did not anticipate how long it was going to take for me to do my hair. And I'm a little cold too, so I'm just having all sorts of experiences over here today. I told you guys I'm gonna let you know like what's going on with me. And the main reason that I'm letting you know what's going on with me is that way you, if you have a similar experience, like you know that you're not alone. And I wouldn't necessarily use the word normal, but it's not abnormal. So that's basically one of the reasons I'm being so transparent with you guys. So basically, after having that experience of resting in God and God just taking care of me, and just like it feels so good to know that I'm supported, and it feels like I'm growing this muscle of trust with God. And it feels really good and wonderful because, as we have been describing through many of these shows, trusting in anyone, is not my original normal state. It's something that I'm gonna have to cultivate now, which I'm sure originally, I don't know, I was born inside of my mother, from my mother, and my mother had like this kind of, well, she was on drugs. I don't know if she's on drugs when she was pregnant with me or not, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't know where that was going. Yeah, like I feel like this tiredness wave is just like really coming over me right now. Let me see if I've rounded up that conversation that I was having. So basically, like, even though I had this day of like letting God guide me, trust me, I literally was in this place of like leaning back and resting in God, trusting in God. I then, in the nighttime, had just like this doubt just creep in, like a dark cloud or a dark fog moving over into a town, something similar to that. So if you're having this experience, just know it's okay. And I'm going to keep practicing. No, I'm going to keep increasing my trust in God and increasing my ability to rest. And yeah, so that's our time for today. And literally, I'm just gonna crawl into my bed and just let that be it. Yeah, so yeah, like talk to me in the comments, you guys. Let me know how you're doing, etc., etc. And with that, I'm going to ask, who and what can I be, know, perceive, and receive today to create heaven on earth right away? See you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love